Good morning. It's supposed to be a hot one today. Right now it's kind of overcast, so we'll see how this shapes up. It might be hot and and muggy too. So I was watching the news this morning. That's usually how I start my day, is watching the news. And there's so many experts. When I went home to see my folks last week, one of the things that my dad said that stuck with me was, every time you turn around, there's a new expert telling us what we need to be doing, what's going on in the world, and then they disappear, and and another one comes along. It makes me think about those two doctors in California that so many people listen to, and now California is in a mess. And I just think, where did those guys go? I mean, we just keep hearing from more and more people who think they have the answer, or they know the answers. And I am just as guilty, because I'll think, well, if everyone in the world would just behave like me, then we could get past this. If everyone cared as much as I do, if everyone was as smart as I am, and boy, that's saying a lot about myself this morning, but I'm surely not the only one who does that. I want to think that I am smarter than I am. I watched this show, I can't remember if it's on, I think it's on Netflix. It's called 100 Humans, I think. And on this show, they'll do different activities with 100 people. And it's interesting to me how often they think so highly of themselves. So one of the things that they did on the show was they asked people to, if you think that you are better looking than most other people, then step forward. And way more people step forward than statistically should have. And they asked if you are smarter than other people. And it was just interesting to see how our view of ourselves is often skewed. I want to read to you this morning from Romans. This comes from Romans 12. And it is Romans 12, 3 and 4. Oops, and it says this. For through the grace given to me, I say to everyone among you, not to think more highly of himself than he ought to think, but to think so as to have sound judgment, as God has allotted to each a measure of faith. Don't think too highly of yourself. It's hard to use sound judgment when we're considering ourselves. Maybe even when we're considering our kids, or our spouse, or our whatever. We just want to think more highly of ourselves than we ought. And so today, when you find yourself listening to the latest experts and wondering, why haven't I heard this before? They may be thinking of themselves more highly than they ought. But if you find yourself thinking, well, if I were in charge, or if I were making the decisions, or if I, all of those things, remind yourself that you may be thinking of yourself more highly than you ought. And be careful with that. Let's pray. Lord, today I pray for that humility to see myself as other people see me, and instead of thinking of myself in ways that are not realistic. Lord, help me also to have good judgment in what I believe from the people who are presenting information. Help me to be able to look at things from a neutral perspective instead of trying to just look at things from my own perspective. And Lord, that's hard. That's so hard to do. To see things as other people who are different than me see them. And Father, I pray that you would give me that kind of insight, and each person listening that kind of insight, so that we can be careful with the things that we do and say. I ask for all of these things through Jesus Christ. Amen. Well, it's Tuesday. It is mid-July. It's hot out there, so enjoy your day, but try to stay cool. Have a good day.